In a quiet afternoon, when you stand amid the rushing crowd or simply sip your familiar cup of coffee in the corner of your room, has a cold, unfamiliar sensation ever suddenly flashed through your mind? That feeling is not ordinary fatigue, but a subtle distortion of reality, as if the entire world around you, every detail, every color, every sound, has been crumpled by some invisible hand in a brief moment. It is like the curtain of reality that we have trusted for so long suddenly parting a fragile slit, enough for you to glimpse a light, another world lying just beneath the shell we call life. You cannot name that vague tremor, but it makes you shiver as if your finger has accidentally touched the edge of an invisible door. A door not designed for humans to cross. These strange moments often pass so quickly that you easily convince yourself you are just too stressed or your memory is faulty. But do you find it odd when these system errors happen more and more to all of us? An item you are certain you placed in exact spot appears in a completely different corner. A friend swears that conversation never took place. Or even, a road you travel every day suddenly has a new house, a new row of trees, but everyone around insists it has always been there. Most terrifying is the feeling that a famous person you are sure has died suddenly appears on television, still alive and smiling healthily. We always try to find a reasonable and logical explanation, or blame the flaws of our biological brain. But deep in the core of consciousness, a faint voice keeps whispering, perhaps things are not that simple. Perhaps we are unintentionally drifting through multiple layers of reality stacked upon each other. Each layer similar enough that we do not notice when we have slipped into another place. Or maybe, we are just living in a sophisticated copy, while the original is somewhere else, continuing in its own way, along a different timeline. Let us revisit those personal stories that once left you stunned and doubtful. The moment of déjà vu arrives easily like a gentle shake to the mind, signaling that this scene, this instant, has happened before, though no matter how hard you try, you cannot recall when. Then there are unusually vivid dreams, where you have a completely different family, a different job, a different life. Every detail in the dream is so real that upon waking, you need a few precious seconds to figure out which is your official world, which is your current self. And recall those faint footsteps when you are alone in the house, those shadows fleeting at the edge of your vision, not clear enough to confirm, but enough to raise goosebumps. Unexplainable machine malfunctions beyond ordinary electronics, or the moment when time seems to freeze between two breaths. If all this is not random brain errors, but side effects of something larger operating, what then? If the reality we live in is not a single flat plane, but folded into countless overlapping layers. If every choice, every tiniest possibility, creates a separate new reality, then, what we remember, what we believe is true, may be just one among countless possible versions. To expand on this, consider the scientific foundations that support such ideas. The concept of multiple realities draws from quantum mechanics, particularly the many worlds interpretation proposed by physicist Hugh Everett in 1957. In this theory, every quantum event branches the universe into parallel versions where all outcomes occur. For instance, when a particle can go left or right, both happen, but in separate universes. This is not science fiction, it solves paradoxes in quantum experiments, like the double-slit test where particles behave as waves until observed. Researchers at institutions like the University of Oxford and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology continue to explore this, using simulations to model branching realities. Moreover, string theory in physics suggests up to 11 dimensions, most curled up invisibly, potentially allowing overlaps between universes. Today, we begin an adventurous and emotional journey. A journey to seek answers to the question that has pursued humanity since the dawn of intelligence: is this universe all that exists? Or out there, are countless other worlds operating in parallel, separated by a thin wall that sometimes reveals cracks we remain unaware of? The door we are about to open, once glimpsed, cannot easily be closed again. Once you realize the limitations of the world around you, you cannot return to initial innocence and simplicity. But if you are ready to accept that current knowledge may be just a tiny drop in the endless ocean of truth, then take one more step. Because everything ahead will challenge your belief in the very nature of reality. Keep your breathing slow and steady throughout this trip, because sometimes, just one offbeat breath is enough to slide you into another world stream. Chapter 1: The Big Picture and Unexplainable Mysteries. For thousands of years, humans looked up at the night sky and believed this universe was unique, a solitary fortress in endless darkness. From ancient civilizations to our modern era, humanity has always viewed everything through a single window, believing what our eyes see is the entire picture of existence. Yet, each time science reaches farther, we realize we understand only a very small part of the truth. When telescopes take us to the farthest edges of the observable universe, a dangerous and profound question emerges in scientists' minds: could there be countless other worlds running parallel to ours, forever beyond our sight? The idea of a multiverse did not spring from mere novelist imagination. It gradually emerged from unexplainable mysteries in modern physics itself. These mysteries force us to accept something astonishing: this universe is too finely tuned to be mere random chance. The fundamental physical constants, numbers governing gravity, electromagnetism, or the electron mass, are adjusted to an unimaginable precision, as if programmed for life to explode and persist. If one number shifts by even a tiny fraction in a million units, everything collapses. No atoms, no stars, no planets, and certainly no us. From this miraculous fine-tuning, a bold hypothesis arises, like a philosopher whispering to a scientist: if countless universes coexist, each with different rules, then ours is just one rare place gathering enough lucky conditions for life to sprout. Imagine each universe as a gigantic bubble, round and shimmering, floating in an infinite ocean physicists call superspace. Each bubble holds its own reality. Space might curve or flatten differently, time flow faster or slower, natural forces stronger or weaker. One place might lack light as we know it. Another might form life from supercold ice or molten plasma. Picture a world where gravity is so light that mountains stretch to the sky like crystal needles, or a world where intelligence exists without physical bodies. To add depth, cosmologists like Andre Linde developed inflationary multiverse models in the 1980s, suggesting eternal inflation creates bubble universes endlessly. Observations from the Planck satellite in 2013 showed cosmic microwave background anomalies that some interpret as bruises from collisions with other universes. If reality is not a single book but an endless library, do the books touch? Do universe bubbles collide and leave faint traces? Beneath the structure we think sealed, are there cracks where this reality reveals a connection to another? From these questions, science seriously imagines doors to other dimensions. Not like wooden doors to the next room, but gates to new natural laws. Science fiction has told similar tales: characters open swirling portals, dash through time tunnels, then stand before a city gleaming under two suns. But what makes science more frightening and fascinating than fiction is that today's leading theories leave open the possibility those gates are not impossible. For example, wormholes theorized by Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen in 1935 could connect distant points or even universes, though stable ones require exotic matter. Chapter 2: Visitors from the Next Dimension. Then comes an even more terrifying question: if we have not opened that door, has someone else opened it before us? Do visitors from the next dimension step into our universe, like a traveler crossing a forest to observe then leave before detection? Look at the phenomenon of unidentified flying objects, now called more formally unidentified anomalous phenomena. For many decades, humans pursued answers for mysterious objects streaking across skies, accelerating beyond any engine we know, then vanishing as if never there. Previously, we thought if real, they came from distant planets. But traveling from star to star requires time challenging any civilization's energy and lifespan. If they come from another spatial dimension, everything makes much more sense. They do not cross vast space distances, they cross reality's fragile boundary. An object from a neighboring universe where physics allows speeds beyond inertia limits. A pilot might see a strange craft, chase at sound speed, but in a blink, it is behind him. Tracking devices record an object at one point then lose it completely without leaving observation range. Phenomena seeming anti-science could be natural in another reality system. If multiverse exists, these phenomena might not be distant stars descending, but neighbors next door. They just open the door, take a few steps, into the human world. In recent years, this truth becomes harder to deny. Former intelligence official David Grush testified before the United States Congress that the government holds something not of humanity, even recovered wreckage from vehicles not from ordinary space. Military pilot Ryan Graves recounted encounters with wingless, engineless objects moving in ways current science can only watch silently. To supplement, the United States Department of Defense released videos in 2020 confirmed by the Pentagon showing tic-tac-shaped objects maneuvering impossibly. International reports, like Francis Gaipan Agency documenting thousands of cases, and Chile's CIFA, show global patterns. Their behavior is the clearest sign: when radar locks, they dissolve into air. Electronics suddenly glitch. They do not attempt communication. They just appear, as if observing something we cannot sense. If truly visitors from another dimension, perhaps they never see us as central. They cross dimensional barriers, collect data, or check if we are ready for discovery. Next question: have we accidentally seen that door? Strange Earth regions where compasses spin wildly, ships vanish without farewell, called cursed lands, could be where two realities brush close. There, a fragile connection opens briefly then closes, leaving lost ones struggling back. The Bermuda Triangle is the clearest example, an invisible sight swallowing ships and planes for decades. Compasses chaos, pilots report skies turning strange green before signals vanish. Halfway around Earth, Stonehenge stands in Europe, not just a temple. Hypotheses say stone placements with precision tied to celestial motions might be giant devices locking realities from colliding. In Peru, a stone gate called Aramumuru. Not a temple entrance, just a flat slab carved like a closed window. Locals say ancient priests touched the center and vanished in blue light. Adding information, the Bermuda Triangle spans about 500,000 square miles, with over 50 ships and 20 planes lost since the 1900s, including Flight 19 in 1945 where 5 bombers disappeared. Similar Devil Sea near Japan has comparable incidents. The idea we are a small piece in endless overlapping existence humbles humans yet ignites intense curiosity. It opens that every decision we make has been made in another reality. Every version of us lives separate lives, loves different people, chooses different paths, even dies on different days. Chapter 3: Betraying Memories and System Errors. One morning, you wake and view the world with an indescribable feeling. Everything seems identical to yesterday, but in your heart, something mismatches. A movie title suddenly pronounced differently. Dialogue in your memory no longer on screen. When asking others, they say it has always been so. You laugh it off, but then online, millions share your exact memory, denied by current reality. This raises a horrific question like a shadow from behind: did reality change, or were you replaced by another version of yourself? People call it the Mandela effect, noted widely from many believing Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. They recall funerals, articles, news broadcasts about his death. But Mandela did not die then. He lived, became South Africa president, passed in 2013. When truth reminded, a large world part goes silent. How wrong can collective memory be? Or not wrong, just we jump to a new timeline where history rewritten. The effect is not one case, it appears everywhere in culture, like incomprehensible data cracks. Many recall the cartoon bears as Berenstein Bears with E, but reality always Berenstein with A. Star Wars viewers swear Darth Vader said Luke I am your father, but current film has no I am your father. Small details like mirror mirror on the wall in Snow White now magic mirror on the wall make many shudder upon discovery. To expand, the Mandela effect term coined by Fiona Broome in 2009, examples include millions thinking Monopoly Man has monocle, he does not, or Shaggy from Scooby-Doo having Adam's apple, no. Surveys on platforms like Reddit show thousands sharing identical false memories, from geography like New Zealand position to brands like Fruit of the Loom logo having cornucopia, it never did. This is not one or two misremembering. Millions remember the same thing, same exact error worldwide. This baffles science, no unified convincing explanation. Human brains are, but rarely in organized, widespread identical patterns. Some believe it signals sliding from original timeline. When major event nears, universe chooses another branch, pushing us unaware. Old memories linger deep in mind, but surroundings changed. We carry fragments of discarded reality. That hypothesis sounds mad and dangerous. If true, debates on history, politics, science sometimes not one wrong one right, but none share same history. We think we live continuously from birth to now, but perhaps died in another universe, consciousness transferred to this body at nearest point. The unease when memories betray is when reality faith thins most. We no longer sure what real, what imagined. History, our base for origins, might rewrite every second unnoticed. If millions misremember together, what is reality standard? Or reality just majority vote in collective memory? And déjà vu, feeling traversed this road, heard this talk, might signal stepping on footprints from another universe where life ahead a few seconds. Reminder, you are not your only version. Studies in psychology, like Elizabeth Loftus' work on false memories, show suggestion plants errors, but cannot explain mass identical ones without shared exposure. Chapter 4, Dreams, Death, and the Final Gate. But another place where boundaries blur utterly. Where death just a lightly knocked door to another life. We call it near-death, dreams, déjà vu. But perhaps just touching multiverse fragile edge. Near-death experiences say they leave body, float above self, sucked into light tunnel like someone calling name. Meet deceased, light beings, hear whispers in no language. Strangely, across cultures, histories, descriptions nearly identical. To add, the International Association for Near-Death Studies documents thousands. Common elements include peace, life review, barrier. Dr. Sam Parnier-Aware study in 2014 verified out-of-body perceptions in cardiac arrest patients. Is near-death consciousness ejecting from this universe touching another dimension door? If existence beyond matter, consciousness unbound by our physics. It slides, clings invisible threads connecting dimensions, returns to body as if never left. Death then not end, but one-way revolving door, sometimes faulty opening reverse briefly. And dreams, world where familiar rules vanish like gravity temporary universe whim. Dreams too real, emotions clear, scenes sharp, upon waking wonder, how brain invent unseen. A chilling hypothesis, dreams short consciousness travels to your life in other universes. Body sleeps, brain freed physical ties. Visits other you versions, sees through their eyes, lives their home, loves their loves. Waking, only life fragments cling memory, fade fast, but emotions remain, reminder existed elsewhere. Lucid dreaming research by Stephen LaBerge since 1980s shows control in dreams, suggesting alternate reality access. If true, nightly we die a bit here live a bit elsewhere. Consciousness tirelessly moves infinite spaces, connecting scattered selves like invisible spider web. Chapter 5, Sophisticated Simulation and Invisible Programmer. Sometimes you view life wondering, why everything's so precise? Why basic particles follow tight rules that small number change collapses universe. This leads thinkers like Professor Nick Bostrom to hypothesize frankly, perhaps we live not natural universe, but giant simulation run by civilization far beyond human intelligence. Bostrom's 2003 paper argues statistically, advanced societies simulate ancestors, we likely in one. If technology advances, future humans simulate full human history detailed to individual thoughts via algorithms. If so, we not real people but game characters, observer outside world. Simulation signs not just philosophy but physics, quantum mechanics oddity particles decide state only observed. Before, superposition, like waiting player input to render. Reality displays only conscious gaze. Rest universe compressed data, awaiting command expand light matter. Light computers save resources, render when game camera points. And light speed, why invariable maximum? Simulation view, system performance limit. Data cannot move faster processing. Near limit, time-space warp. Game keeps logic intact. Relativity experiments confirm this. Large Hadron Collider hunts simulation glitches in particle collisions. If simulation, who created? Advanced future humans, unimaginable species, or ancient term, God. Night waking question, escape way. Reality like hackable game. Deeper rule understanding bends them, unlocks normal player inaccessibles. Meditation masters control heartbeat. Paranormal program bugs. Scientists probing reality with particle colliders near simulation wall. Terrifying not watched, but observer could hit off anytime. All vanish traceless, memoryless, consequenceless. Status, program completed. Chapter 6, Meeting Another Self and Ultimate Fear. People fear monsters, ghosts, beyond comprehension beings, but more terrifying encounter, meeting yourself. Not mirror, but entity from parallel universe where life branched differently. Imagine opening strange door, facing another you. But eyes deeper, calmer, knowing what you do not. See self version stronger, talented, perhaps richer. Heart tightens uncomfortably. Turns out, not best self version. Meeting strips existence reasons. Failure excuses vanish. Regrets preferred somewhere. Or crueler, opposing not successful you, but failed, crushed wrong choices, pain you luckily avoided. Eyes despair tangle question, our happiness traded for own pain elsewhere. In multiverse game, survival not just species, but self versions. Facing entity, self-philosophy unsolvable puzzle. If two or more selves coexist, each believes universe center, where truth. We one permutation infinite self-collection. Opens final deeper darker question, truly meaningful individual, or countless copy randomly placed existence spot. Quantum suicide thought experiments explore this, where immortality in some branches. Conclusion, consciousness the eternal key. Here, we stand final boundary intellectual adventure, where once mad assumptions reasonable most. What we call reality perhaps beautiful stage curtain hiding endless backstage. Every passing second, heartbeat result continuous computation. But miracle, simulation or multidimensional, you always primary observer, central own story. Consciousness key, soul light never extinguishes body decays universe collapses. We discussed strange worlds floating continents, beings no brain red time like clock. Touched death reload game upgraded graphics. Yet after tales, scariest question simple, courage look behind curtain. Dare question absolutes believed since birth. Sometimes firmest belief chain binding reality cage. Be honest tonight. Lying bed, darkness falls, mind drifts body. True story begins then. Strange dream, deja vu goosebumps, feeling watched dark room corner, understand disgust not alien. always beside, silently awaiting reveal. Perhaps tonight's sleep, door opens. Step another universe room, answers wait silent patient. Keep question mind. Living or lived. Sometimes one dream final answer,